Wendy Williams is facing quite a bit of criticism over her coverage of recent, I'm gonna be vague here, life developments in a TikToker. Tragic story, but you wouldn't get that from the beginning, at least, of Wendy Williams' coverage of it. So we're gonna show you the video and give you our thoughts.
I have no idea who this is, neither does Norman, neither does one person in this building, maybe Sus does. Do you know who Swavey is? Clap. Clap if you know who Swavey is. Okay. Sus?
Nah, it's not my cup of tea that I got going on right now.
Well, he's a TikTok star. He's got more followers than me. 2.5 million.
On TikTok. On TikTok, but on Instagram, you have more followers.
Well, as my son Kevin would say, no one uses Instagram anymore.
What?
And as far as TikTok, I don't use that at all. I don't know what that is. I don't want to be involved. So here he is. He's 19 and he was murdered Monday morning.
Okay, so it made me uncomfortable to have to be vague in the beginning so that you get the full effect of that video, the effect that the audience live got in there. The TikTok star Swavey, whose real name is Matima Miller, died from a gunshot wound. It was a 19-year-old that was already incredibly popular, had his whole life in front of him, and died. And they didn't find out about that through a minute of her encouraging them to kind of have a bit of fun with the fact that they don't know who this is. And then there was a debate about who had more like social media followers. And I don't know, the guy that she was interacting with, I don't know if he knew what was happening in the story, but when he pointed out, no, you got more Instagram followers, that doesn't feel good at all when you find out that the person that she's like beating or owning in this is dead.
That moment, and I don't know, because a lot of us are having different. Everybody who has seen this from a different Twitter handle or watching it, or did they read the lower third during this, or did they not? Like,
that's true.
I don't know what's better or worse. Like, I don't know. It's like people watching. What order did you watch the Star Wars movies in? Like, you have a completely different experience than I did. And we all come to the same conclusion that this is one of the wildest rides in television watching history. And every little flavor that goes into it is amazing. So I think that Wendy Williams knew exactly what was happening. And she knew that the reaction she was getting, especially from her producer, was not gonna help her presenting the story she knew she had to present. It reveals potentially like the interactions between her and whoever that is on the stage with her, which is either a stage manager who might just be like, I know what clips we have in what order or whatever's going on, or it might also be like her executive producer. I don't know. The executive producer needed to know better. If it's a stage manager, he's just like, well, here the last thing we talked about, like Wendy farted last week on the show, and it was hilarious. Like that actually did happen. She farted on that show in the middle of a segment. And so that wild ride all contribute, plus like vanity of people in the audience feeling they need to support Wendy.
They did.
And then her trying to like reel it in. Well, she's like, oh, okay. He's got more followers than me, which even without the awkwardness, that is like her love language. That is her language of how to quantify how popular someone is how much value someone has and how much you should care about them and how well their life is going is judged by how many followers they have.
It was just incredibly awkward, and I'm sure she's going to address it. Maybe she can come up with something. I don't watch the show, so I can't make any general judgments. Most of what I hear about her is via John Oliver, but that's a weird way to cover pretty much every part of that story. It's just a tragedy. This is
Wendy Williams is just definitely. But and that's it. And there's so much television like that on our show. on this show, we covered a lot of different subjects, but each subject we kind of presented as that, and each subject going into it, we kind of read the room on it.
Yes.
We try to. Yeah. But that's what's so crazy, even worse on like morning and syndicated television. As I've always, the bit I've had for a long time, it's victims and recipes.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, and 40 people were burned alive. Next up, your 4th of July barbecue. What are you gonna do when Aunt Edna wants non-alcoholic beverages? Now this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh man. Just uncomfortable. Yeah, we always worry that we're gonna like seem to be making light of some tragedy or something. Well, I don't think we're ever gonna be as bad as that.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.